Hello, and welcome to my review of Outer Worlds. It's quite anticipated, this game. I've been looking forward to it myself. I like adventure games, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But first of all, I'll quickly run you through your setup menus and things like that, so you know what you're up against when you start the game. If you like this, you like that, etc., etc. I think it's always important to know what your options are. So here you go. Settings menu. I've got my volumes for the audio down to 70%, music off, everything else is 100%. Conversation subtitles on or off. Show back subtitles. Oh, I have no idea what that means. Cinematic subtitles. Controls, invert y-axis, that's like a flight simulator, so like when you pull back you look up. Button layout, you can change that if you like, but it's fine for me. Gameplay, normal. Show player helmet, I suppose that's so you can see your face all the time, and your companions. You have companions in this. I'm not sure how many you can have, because I've not progressed that far, but I don't really think it's too important. You know, the game will give you what you've got, won't it? Tutorials, tutorial notifications, auto collapse inventory. I don't know what that means, really. I honestly don't. I don't care. Show dialogue skill stats. Everything does tell you on the right there what it means, by the way. Show while listening. There's some good things about the conversations in there. I'll show you as we go. Waypoints. So you can, at the moment, it's giving you a lot of help there. You can see that, can't you? But you can make it more difficult by turning things off, can't you? And some people like that kind of thing, you know, for more of a challenge. So next we've got graphics. Now this is part of it. It's not a full open world game, by the way. You get specific areas that you have to go on to, and you have a full day and night cycle in this area. I'm not sure about other areas. That's one of my companions. I'm up to level 6 at the moment, so I have been playing it I've played it about 5 hours, I think. Well, I've played it more because I've been backtracking and seeing, you know, when you do what ifs. So I've actually played it more than 5 hours, but the save game is up to 5 hours. So we're on about nighttime cycle here. The noises and the ambience, it's quite nice. The graphics are pretty smooth. In fact, they're very smooth. Every now and then you have a little stutter here and there, and sometimes textures don't draw straight away. When you go out from one area to another, I'm not going to do it, but if I go into this is a town called Edgewater, and I'm going to try to not spoil the game for you as well by if I press X to transition, we'll have a loading screen basically. But I'm not going to do that now. I mean, you can hear, can't you? There's just sort of nighttime noises. I've not had any weather effects yet. It's quite pretty though, isn't it? And unlike Fallout, it's very, very colourful, as you can see. You know, obviously Fallout's simulating Earth after nuclear wars happened, and this is totally different. It's like the anti-Fallout, isn't it? It's very, very colourful, and even at night time it's colourful, which is a bit wrong, but it still looks pretty. It moves nice, and I don't think there's anything wrong with graphics. I would like to see better graphics though. It's starting to all look a bit old-fashioned, isn't it? All this look now that we've got. You can see that moon. Is that moon moving and got a ship there, or is it the clouds that's moving? I can't work it out. I think it could be a bit of both, couldn't it? Yeah, the moon's moving, the ship's flying through the sky. So yeah, it looks real nice, and it'll do. So I'll go to my character now. It's an RPG adventure game. So what more can you say about it? It's very, very standard in that respect. You've got all your stats, skills, perks. Got a lot of perks. You got different tiers. Currently, I've got I get more ammo from vendors, which are usually machines by the look of it. More XP from companion kills and a bit of extra health. Then there's more details, my level, L3 generation, armor ratings, sprint speed. It's quite comprehensive. And my reputation, I've not come across these people yet, but these people, Spacer's Choice and Deserters, are where I am now, basically, Edgewater. Now, the thing about these is that there's some humour. There's a lot of humour in this game. Spacer's Choice is the name of a company, and the company basically runs the world. I'm trying not to spoil it for you, but everybody that you talk to, obviously, their livelihood depends on Spacer's Choice for giving them accommodation, food, and a job to do. And it's one of them societies where if you don't have a job, it's probably going to die. They've got all the citizens over a barrel, so everyone you talk to, sort of on at face value, sort of bigs the company up. You know, they haven't got a bad word to say about the company, and some of it's actually very funny. I've got an example, and I'm going to put it at the end of the video, so that I don't spoil anything for anybody that's really into the story. I'll tell you before that bit of video plays that stop watching, because it'll contain some plot spoilers or whatever. But up to now, I've really enjoyed this game, and I'll just make sure I've covered all settings for you. Yeah, I have, yeah. I'll go back to the character thing now. That's your quest journal. You can sort that out by pressing X, by the way. It just sorts them into what you got. Your map. Now the map will change when you go into another area. So if you go into Edgewater, which is here, oh, there's fast travel as well. I haven't done that yet. The maps aren't really that big. I'll show you. I can show you quite easily how the map's really not that big, and it's not really truly open world game, but it's still playable. It's still playable. Inventory. There. Now, what I don't like about this inventory is that when you put it on anything like that, you've got the box that comes up and it covers the rest of the inventory up. You know, it's telling you light pistol made by Spacer's Choice and the skill level and all that, and it does it all the way down, and it's quite annoying. I find that quite annoying, but you know, there's not a lot you can do about that. So in my inventory, I've got usual things: weapons, armor, the stuff that you can take to sort of buff yourself and stuff. I never bother with that stuff. I never have in any Fallout game. There's modifications to your weapons. There's workbenches. You know, that's the thing in these recent games, isn't it? You have these workbenches and you can work your weapons up and down. This is stuff like for picking locks and hacking computers and things like that. And now this is quest items. And then you've just got your usual rubbish that you pick up. You know what it's like, don't you? Adventure game. Everywhere you go, you just loot the hell out of everything constantly, don't you? So we started over here. That's Edgewater over there, where the main city is. So some of the map. I mean, you saw where we were on the map. I just saw a Marauder down here. They're bad. Oh, there's one there, look. Marauder gun.
Okay, here we go.
See, watch what happens. Companion's quite good. Let's see him reloading. This gun's got a shock modification to it. And then obviously, you know, I'm gonna go. Every body is like a container. Just take all. And that's what we do, isn't it? We always do that. We go around collecting every single thing. I'm not going to tell you much about this. This is part of. I'm just showing you the map, really. I don't want to ruin any part of the game for you if I could help it. Let's have a look at the map now. See where we've got to. Oh yeah, the stats for her as well. My companion stats, and you can manage their gear, and you can also make them act differently with these behaviours. Distance, medium, far, close, weapons mixed, aggressive. It tells you on the right there what they do. And she's got her own skills as well by the look of it, and perks. It's very comprehensive in some ways, and as you can see, the AI's not that bad, but the enemy AI, at least some of them, certainly the animals, they've got a boundary. So if you bite off more than you can chew early on, which I did, I got myself killed quite a few times by some great big monstery thing, you can run away from them. Or at least make your companion hold position.
I'm on my way.
Which she hasn't.
Heading back.
I don't know. I don't get that. She didn't seem to stop where I put her. But you know, obviously you've got to outrun your companion, haven't you? And let the monsters get them. But they always seem to lag behind you anyway. I was going to look at map, I got sidetracked, didn't I? So if I go back to map, that's where we started. And we're already over here. And there isn't much map left. So it's not like Fallout usually. I'm comparing it to Fallout because it does seem very similar to that in some ways. And it's the same company, isn't it? I think. Yeah. You just come to a brick wall like this, which you did in Fallout, obviously, at some places, but this is really more obvious. And this area, this is the first area, and it's small, really. It's very small, but it's not the only area in the game. You're gonna have to use your spaceship to go out. Now you see that the lighting's changing, and that moon that was up there is now moved in that direction. You'd never get to see a site like this. There's no way you'd ever see a site like this. I mean, you've got a huge planet there, and being so close to something that big, it'd probably be there'd be like the land would be like the sea. You'd get tides on it. It'd probably drag you up in the air with the gravity pull. I'm not like Brian Cox or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that you couldn't be on a planet like this, not in proximity to something like that. It'd tear this to pieces. But that's just it looks pretty, doesn't it? I went all sciencey for a minute, sorry about that. So that's your graphics. Not too bad, is it? So you've seen a bit of gunplay, and that's pretty much a lot. In Fallout, you had to rely on that tactical system where it paused. This has got a similar thing, which I will show you. I'll just go find someone to shoot, or something to shoot, and I'll also try and. It's a bit sort of cheapened down in some ways as the combat, because it's a bit too easy. I can hear something. Oh yeah, these are quite tough. I'll show you what I mean though. But See the chasing? She's shooting at them, so I didn't have this happen before. And eventually, they'll stop chasing me. They'll get out of the zone and they'll just back up. Like I say, they've run off. And the other thing as well is, I'll show you with a bigger gun, well, or with a different sort of a gun. You've got I can stop time or slow time right down. But you know, for a short spell. Obviously, every kill you make, you get XP, and ammunition's very expensive as well. Right now, see, top my red bar up there. All I do now is have this inhaler thing. It's like gas and air, and that's healed me. And you can see my health's going up, and then you get a perk or something where you can heal your whole crew as well. So to me, that's a bit. But I don't suppose it's any different to a lot of other games I've played. I've just seen it different because you've got it right from the get-go. You see, I'm just loading. Oh, now I'm encumbered. You see that about company profits and all that, then that was it. There's a lot of that in the game. It's quite humorous. So I can't sprint now, and apparently I can't fast travel, but there's no real point on this map. It's so small, isn't it? You can walk it in like a minute from side to side by the look of it, or run it anyway. And to me, that is a little disappointing. But I mean, we're desperate for good games, aren't we? And I'll be honest with you, I'm enjoying this game, and that's the whole point of playing them. I used to love Fallout. I don't think it's as good as Fallout because it doesn't have the same atmosphere. Fallout had a really good atmosphere, as did things like, I thought, Half-Life on the PC had a great atmosphere, and the original Fallout that had the isometric viewpoint on the original PC version of Fallout. Obviously, Oblivion and Skyrim as well, I think were total game changers. I like the way in Skyrim, I think it was Skyrim, as you did certain things, like you sneaked about, or you used your bow, or you used your sword, or whatever. The more you did it, the more you leveled up in that area, and I thought that was great. That I thought that was really the way forward for games, so that your skills would reflect how you played the game rather than you choosing them. Because as you go in this, if you know, I can spec my skills up. If I go to my character, I don't have any at the moment, but I'm not far off. If you look up there, number 6 on the top left hand corner, there's a little white bar underneath it. I'm not far from getting another set of skills, and you seem to get them in 10s. So these skills here will go up in 10s. So when I go to handguns, it'll go up to 54 next. All of them will go up. You know, I'll click on that ranged, and that stat, and that stat will all go up by 10. And I'd rather have it other way around, or rather not like that. That if I'm using these, if I'm using a handgun, I'll get handgun skill. If I'm using like a rifle, I'll get long gun skills. And if I'm using like that light machine gun, that I'll get the heavy weapons. And you know, all these. So if I do a lot of sneaking about, or a lot of lock picking, or fixing myself up, or engineering things, or just talking to people, that's how I'd like to see my level ups done. Having said that, it's still fun, and just because it can't be exactly how I want it, don't mean that the game's bad or anything like that. But the games that I mentioned are games that I like, I especially liked Oblivion and Skyrim and Witcher 3 as well, which is a totally different kind of adventure game, but Witcher 3 I thought was so fantastic looking. I thought it's the highlight of this generation, really, graphics wise, and it was an atmosphere in it as well that it just, I don't know everything about that game, I just really enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying this as well, there's no doubt about it. 750 XP for that. You see, to me that was a little bit easy, but obviously you can up it by, you know, I'm saying it's easy. I've just got this on normal. So if you want more of a challenge, you could make it more challenging. I wonder if you can do it on the fly. I wonder if you can actually do it. Gameplay. Oh yeah. Looks like you can do it. Yeah, I could make it harder for myself. It's nice looking though, in its own way. See, she's just shooting something by herself now. Oh, it's another marauder. See, he's a bit of an idiot, isn't he? The AI is just do a fandango. You see, he had a sniper rifle, didn't he? Where's that gone? Oh, there it is, hunting rifle. I'll be weighing a ton now. That's. There's not really much more to tell you without actually ruining the game. It's £50, and for once I haven't had to spend the money on it. And not because I have any preferential treatment by Obsidian, which I certainly don't. I don't get paid for doing any of these reviews. I do this in my spare time, which is getting less and less. I got the Game Pass. This is the Xbox version. I did forget to tell you that right from the get-go. Yeah, this is the Xbox version. Xbox One X I'm playing it on. And I got it on Game Pass. And usually, if something's on Game Pass on day one, it's usually not a good game. And this is I think this is the exception. I think it is a good game. And I can't really think of what else to tell you about it. I mean, you should be able to tell by now if this game is the sort of game that you're actually going to be interested in. I mean, normally, I can tell within, I don't know, a couple of minutes of watching someone playing a game or someone doing a review, whether I'm going to like it or not. But when you're looking at reviews, you've got to have an idea of what that person likes and don't like as well. Because I could sit here, some people can be very convincing, can't they? Oh, this is the worst game I've ever played, blah de blah de blah. Or on the other hand, they can say it's the best one they've ever played. And then when you think, oh, that's good, that guy loves that game, so it's got to be good. You go out and you buy it, and you're going, well, was he even playing the same game that I'm playing? Because you just don't enjoy it, or it's full of bugs. So I'm happy to report that I haven't had a single technical issue, glitch, bug, freeze up, lock up, crashed a dashboard, or anything. You have got a lot of freedom in this game, which I'll show you end up video, I think, because it might contain spoilers. So I'll do a bit extra and stick it on the end of the video so that you can see a lot of the story and a lot of the things you do are they're interesting. The story's interesting. The people are funny, but they're funny in a sort of ironic ways where they're falling over themselves to sort of toe the company line. And I'll show you an example on the end of the video. It's not really going to be a spoiler, but I think it's probably one of the funniest things I've heard in a video, and it might just be because it appeals to my sense of humour. But it's the funniest thing I've heard in a game for a very long time. And you might just sit there thinking, that's not funny. But I just thought it was really funny when I first heard this woman say it. I'll show you. I'll just briefly show you the loading time as well, going into here, so at least you'll have some idea what you're getting. It's not horrific, but I'd rather not have it. You see, it looks like 1920s or 30s graphics and stuff to me. It's that sort of typical Fallout look about it, but different. You know, it looks old-fashioned, but it's modern, if you know what I mean. It looks like Fallout looks like it should be from 1940s or 50s, but it has robots in it and spaceships and lasers. And this is same. This looks like it should be from like 1920s, some of the stuff in it, and you know, the graphics in it and that, like them posters. Right, so this is inside. So I'll just see the map. Sometimes can take some time to draw, as can the save game thing. So this is the general store, which I've not really been so much. But that's fairly typical stuff. Now I could go around here shooting everyone if I wanted, and the game actually lets you do that, and I'll show you later. And also the way that the stories unfold. Once you've made a decision, basically there's no going back to it. Yeah, it has a branching storyline by the look of it, where you'll make a decision and it's basically a bit of a good and evil decision, or it seems that way, but there's a little bit more to it than that, and I can't tell you without ruining it for you.
But it still happens.
But you do come to these places where you make a decision and it affects another group, and it's interesting, and the characters in it, like I said, they're amusing and they're interesting, and the dialogue, some of the dialogue is very good. It's very good, and I found it funny, and I found it not a waste of time for once. That's a stupid way of putting it, but a lot of these games that I've had lately, I've been, well, yeah, that's nice, but I'm bored. I don't want to play it. Well, I do want to play this one. I'm not bored with it, and I like the characters in it as well. They seem a bit cheesy, but they're also interesting, and they're funny, but they're funny in that sort of ironic way as well. I hope I'm describing that properly, but it might just be me that finds it funny, obviously, and everyone else will just go, what are you talking about? That's not even slightly funny. I can't really think about what else to tell you about it, other than I will put the extra bits on the end of it. But I would buy this game. I won't buy it because I got the Game Pass, and I only got the Game Pass for £1, which is great. But the full price is $49.99. I suspect it's going to be $49.99 if Call of Duty's out to go by, because Call of Duty came out yesterday as well. And I actually got that. It's a long time since I got a Call of Duty game, but I got so disappointed by Battlefield that I've had enough of it. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, they're more like Call of Duty than Call of Duty, except Call of Duty done badly. So anyway, the reason I'm telling you that is my mate has got it in States, and it's $59.99. So it's actually more expensive for us, isn't it? You know, if you look at exchange rate. So I'll end this section, and the next section is going to probably contain spoilers. Well, it is going to contain spoilers, and I don't want to ruin the game for anybody that don't want any spoilers. It's difficult doing a game like this whereby there's possibly game ruining spoilers in it. But I'm happy to report there is no bugs that I've come across up to now in 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. I don't know how long the actual story is. I usually eke these things out by exploring everything. I'm one of these people. I'll go searching everything that there is to search and grabbing everything there is to grab. You know, loot mania. That's what I like in the game. There's plenty of loot in it. Most of it's probably useless, but you know, most of it is in games, isn't it? And we just collect it like like magpies. Anyway, I'll do that other bit, and you can get to see a little bit more about the game, and there will be spoilers in it, so be careful what you're watching. So remember, spoilers.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's Choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right?
Yeah,
Just barely scraped by with my life.
What's the chances
Crawled
of
in
that?
here and blocked off the exit with those canisters.
Maybe it's because you're an idiot, mate. didn't take your finger off the trigger.
Investigating an illegally grounded ship. All spacecraft must arrive and depart from authorized landing pads. That's board law, that is. Some hull had grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad.
So basically, they're more concerned with an illegally parked ship than people that are murderers, than marauders that go out killing people.
Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time.
Company slogan.
You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice
Yeah, I
community.
didn't shoot myself though, did I?
Edgewater's a little ways
Might
down.
have hit my head.
Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
This is early on.
Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
I like the history on the choices there. I've never seen that in a game before. You can go back and review what's been said in case you've got lost. It's very, very handy. This is early on as well. I think the whole of this map, I think everything I've shown you so far has been basically easing you into the game.
What just happened?
That guy talking is the guy that
What in the
helps you initially. I won't say any more about that though. Obviously we kill everything, don't we, when we're playing, as long as it's got XP. Now this is a bit of it's like a tutorial. This will come up and help you every now and then. This is like the freeze time. Well, not freeze, slow down time. It's a bit like bullet time in Red Dead Redemption, but not quite as comprehensive as that. Not at the moment anyway, unless it changes with your perks. Oh, completely missed him. Yeah, I'm not looking too much because I went back and did this again so I could specifically show you this person we're about to about to have contact with. She's the head of the security service, or like a sergeant or a captain or something like that. I'm not really sure what she is, but she's the voice acting is good. The lip syncing ain't so good in the game, but a lot of the voice acting's good. She's so earnest and sincere about what she says.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed! Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
He's more concerned about the illegally parked ship.
Really? How is he?
Yeah, he's still a moron.
Of course I am. I'm a superior officer. Stands to reason, don't it? Just you watch. I'll cross these marauders off with a swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son.
You get skill points, or rather XP, for using some of your skills. You say, I'm going to do it here. And her reply, I think, is one of the funniest I've heard in a long time.
You think? Most marauders can't even talk. But criminals do attract other criminals by their own nature. You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go.
See, they didn't need me. And some of the little one-liners that come out with after this, it's subtle.
Company ammo.
Oh, I covered it up. He said waste of ammo. I talked over it. Sorry.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
We've been losing workers year after year.
This is your companion.
Corporate hardly ever sends replacements.
And she's
There's barely enough saltine
she's
to fill our
helping me
bellies
decide whether I
The
should do
town's got some good
what you
people.
would think is right or what you would
Decent,
think is
hardworking
wrong
folk just living their lives the only way
in
they
one
know
of
how.
the quests that
deserve
you're
to be
on.
punished.
You have to make them. Basically, you have a moral choice, and there's plus and minus points for both sides as well. So it isn't as clear cut as you would think.
Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful.
No, usually
Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life
you've
again.
got a
It's plain to see
good
she's
and
made the
evil
Vale a better
choice. It's not
place.
that
Fed
clear
the
cut,
hungry, tended the sick,
which is good.
gave a home to those
Makes
that
it more
had none.
interesting.
But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
I like the characters as well,
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that.
which is
I felt
unusual.
like I had to say something.
It's like if you watch a film, if you don't care about the characters in it and they don't do a good job of acting, you don't really want to watch the film.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Yeah, this looks familiar, doesn't it? This is like Fallout, isn't it? If you've played Fallout, that is. I think most people that are going to buy this game will have played Fallout, without a doubt. Without a doubt. This is the save game list. You can actually save it where you want, obviously. Like, it's normally an adventure game, RPG. And I like that. I do like that. It does autosave for you as well. But the autosave's not that reliable. you can miss out on stuff. You know, if you were to switch off or lose power or something, obviously. But it's usually, if you get killed, you can sometimes miss out on a bit. But it don't matter. You know, we're used to these outwith gamers. You should know to save yourself now. It's just these games these days seem to not even allow you that. I'm letting you see this inside bit, so you get a good idea of how the graphics move and all that, and what the environments are like. I think this is the simplified map, if you know what I mean. I suspect that the other maps, when you get to them, they're going to be harder. The enemies will be harder, and it'll get tougher. Oh, well, I'm hoping it will, because it's a bit simple at the moment. The marauders were just not very maraudery. Usually in an adventure game, when you RPG. Oh, this is like the lock picking now.
Easy.
Yeah, it's simpled down, dumbed down, isn't it? All that using lock picks and stuff like you do in the other games. Now this is, I did a what if. This is, I've basically made the decision. I've gone back to this guy.
What you've done for us. By all means.
And I'm just going to show you what you can do now. This is basically a what if. What I'm trying to do is see if I can go back to the other person that's involved in the storyline, and because the other person wanted me to kill him, but I didn't accept that.
Are you out of your
And
mind?
I will. Oh, this is good.
You just killed him.
That's my companion. She's not happy that I just killed him. And
You enjoyed that?
I had an option
Are
to
you
get
some
rid
kind
of her
of
as well,
psychopath?
if I wanted.
I can't. I need to leave. I need to get away from
Oh, I
here.
will
I
have
need
an
to get away
option.
from you.
See, I can get rid of her now. I didn't try it, so I'm assuming you can actually get rid of her. But I could have reloaded it and tried it
You
again.
killed Mr. Thompson for talking down his nose at me? You got a real twisted sense of chivalry, you know that? Let's just move on. I couldn't forgive myself if I let you loose upon the Vale unsupervised.
But because I've killed him, he's got a key card on him, and it gives me access to a room that's just here. And so I can change how the well, I thought I could change how the story went, but you can't. Once you've made your decision, it's final in the conversation. Because there was definitely a branch where the other person that's involved in the storyline wanted me to kill him anyway, or take him out. And I didn't go down that branch, but it was obvious. It was obvious that was what was going to happen. He's left like his last will and testament on here, and it's all about the company. If you're reading this, I'm dead or sacked. It's basically, please look after everything for the company. So these people in this game, they're company through and through. They're like indoctrinated with it, which is how we're getting in here. Well, it seems to be how we're getting. Plus we don't need, we can't say what we want
I
anymore.
think you did the rightest thing you could sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise.
Yes.
People I care for. Even if they ain't care much for me.
And
He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
there's a lot of conversation in this,
I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay.
and it's
I mean, when Mr.
It can be
Thompson said he was
interesting as well.
fired, we all
if you're paying
expected the
attention,
worst.
that is.
If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
See, I don't know if you can once we've left this place, because I've got to get this ship that I've got to get it off this planet to get to another area, and I'm not sure if I can come back to this planet or not. I suspect I probably can, but I'm leaving. I'm just doing something different now. That's my reputation with the. It's about to go down a bit more.
Nice work!
See, she's not bothered now that I'm killing everybody. That's a bit inconsistent. mucking in. See, these guards they're a little bit easy, aren't they? You can usually find loot round there, but it's all the same stuff. You know, you know what these games are like. Civilians. Nice one, she says. She's just not bothered anymore. See, not the most intelligent, was he? Bar full of people, we're just cowering. That was a bit excessive, he flew up in there. I haven't come across any obvious bugs, like I said earlier. I like the game. I've enjoyed playing it, and I've especially enjoyed it because I got it on Game Pass, and it's not actually cost me anything for once. Usually I've wasted so much money on this year on games that I don't really like that much. Because you get desperate just to buy stuff, don't you? You know, you want something new. You want something new all the time. Right, you can do weapon mods as well, and tinker with them and up the damage that they do and things like that. It's good. But again, I don't like the way that menu works. You know, it covers up. It should be off to the side a little bit. I don't know another way they could have done that. Maybe you press a button or something. I don't know. But you can see how much it's going to cost you to up its attributes, etc. And there's also weapon mods, which is it's like a package that you get and you fit them to your gun, and the gun acts different. I'll do it here on that electric thing. I'll probably add a bio damage, I think, or corrosive damage to it or something. And you'll see it even looks different when you fire it. Instead of it just being blue, it has a bit like a green streak in it. And the pistol I've got has an electric shock with it as well. That's good against robots and things like that. Seems to work on just about everything though, so far. Melee weapons and that, and you can give weapons to your companion, give your companion armor. It's good in that respect. These are weapon mods. That's me electric zapper thing. That'll be using to great effect. Weird thing about if you press the trigger, it just, when there's no one in front of you, nothing comes out of it. It does wind your ammunition down. The charge. I'll be going out to test it now. See, there was the green, like a green zappy streak in it. Yeah, she's not bothered about killing out now, is she? She's not. He's unarmed, is he? So she's not killing him. I mean, this is a good way of testing a game, isn't it? Now, when I leave, there'll be some loading time. I'm going to show you the loading time as well, because you know, if you buy the game, you're going to be subjected to this, aren't you? But when we go back in there, they're all still dead, and the town's basically empty. I'm not sure what would happen if you went to a different area, completely a different map, and then came back to this one. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete everything on this level or this map to see that if I can come back to it. But if I complete everything I want to complete now, I can get it completed, if you know what I mean. If there's no way back, I can't do it. But what's interesting here is I kill somebody and it ruins the quest. That it is a gravedigger. And there's the quest. That was him there. He looks like the shoveler out of Mystery Men. If you've ever seen that, it's a great film. But that's ruined that quest now for the shoveler. It's not called the shoveler, I can't remember what it's called. He just looks like the shoveler. Yeah, I got my journal now, you see, it's I botched it. So I'm now gonna go across the map to the. You see, it's not very far. It's less than 500 meters, isn't it? I think it was 300 and something meters. I can't really see because I've got it on the editing software. I'm sure it was like 300 and something meters. Some kind of snake. That's what we do in it. Everything you come across, you kill it for your XP. That's what I said earlier. I'd like the XP to be based on what you do, specifically what you know, not just a blanket XP. So that should have gone on. I don't know if you're sneaking about, go on sneak. If you're shooting that type of weapon, like energy weapon, whatever, you know, do it whichever way you want. And now I'm running as well, you know, so my stamina and my speed I think should be going up. But you can endlessly run. I'm just running. Every now and then there's a little frame rate stutter where it loads a bit. And there's another part on this section. Like when I'm on my way back, when I come back through this section here, it loads. You'll see it. But I'm going back in this direction because it was part of that story, the story mission, story quest, where I had to divert power either to this place that I'm here now or to Edgewater, the town, and I chose Edgewater. And all these people now, I've had to persuade them. I've already done it to persuade them to go back to Edgewater, apart from one woman who's dug her heels in because she hates that guy that I killed, and she wanted me. Well, there was definitely a branch in the conversation where I would have got the option to go and do what I just did and kill that guy. But she's got sulking with me now. She's got dog on. Oh, she calls me a snake.
Look at that.
You old hag.
The snake's come back.
The snake's come back. You're the snake, you unforgiving bitch. And that's the thing I need to get my ship off the ground. I won't be showing you that though, because I ain't done it yet. I like to sort of savour these games and go explore every nook and cranny and steal everything and grab every bit of loot I can and level up and kill everything they can kill. See, them bodies of them animals have been there for ages. They've been there literally for ages, and they stayed there. As I run down here now, there's a loading time that happens. You'll see it soon, and I think it's loading in. I think it's loading people in, because some marauders turn up as we're going past here. You can't see them. Oh, I didn't see him when I was playing the game. I don't know if you can actually see him or not. I don't think you can, but you'll see. Yeah. Anytime now it's going to start. Yeah, it does this, and I thought it actually crashed because I hadn't seen it do this before, and then I can hear commotion, right, and all these marauders have basically loaded back in. So I think that's what was going on there. And this guy's quite tough suddenly as well. He's still standing up. I just shot the hell out of him. I had to get my shotgun out. His companion's still fighting. Sniper. Go and nick all this stuff. Daddy. I killed you. And there's some people I killed earlier, I think, back there. The graphics and a little bit of the gunplay, I guess, are a little bit Borderlandsy as well. But the guns are totally... I think the guns will work a lot better than they did in Fallout. In Fallout, I think that the combat system were a bit dodgy overall in that bit. Fallout had a great atmosphere, didn't it? I think the last Fallout they did, not that Fallout 76, I hadn't touched that, but the last proper Fallout they did, I thought it was a bit weak. And it somehow seemed dumbed down. This is more of the loading time going back into that town. And that's a fairly typical sort of loading screen. There's a bit of humour in it, you know, if you're looking. See, they're all still dead. And they've all still got the stuff on them.
Here we go! Don't mess with us!
Not making a good impression on them. Or I'm making a good impression on them. Now, bearing in mind what I've just done, I've walked in here, and he's still alright with me.
Ask her if you care. I'm running a business here.
Bit more
I won't touch
conversation.
anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
Go right ahead. It's not the best choice. Music to my ears.
Yeah, this is your trading. Buy and sell and repair. You can repair things yourself though. You can break the weapons down like you always can now in these games and use the weapon parts and use them on repairing your own weapons. And you can see what's in my inventory there, a lot of mods and everything I've collected. I'm over encumbered, I think. Too much weight. But I could still move, so it wasn't that much of a problem, was it? Apparently you can't fast travel, but the maps are so small, and on this level anyway, on this map, you don't need to. Look, I'm stealing right in front of him. Look.
What do you think you're doing?
Now he's pulled me about it. I'm going to threaten him, I think. Or intimidate him. Do what I want, when I want, how I want. Period. Sucker.
This'll be quick.
Well, there, but he's had enough now. So he's gone for
Everyone all right?
So yeah, just nick all his stuff. I mean, at least you can do this sort of thing. It's a bit of a pity that he didn't seem to recognise that I'd been killed literally everybody in town that I've come across. Oh, I forgot you can dodge and all that, but it's so unnecessary at the moment because the combat's been pretty easy, even though I've had it on regular. She's going to tell us a bit of a story about why she wasn't allowed in that shop.
When I asked if you were a drinker? There was
Yeah, all in all, I like the game.
With a vending machine when I was 12.
I don't know how much I'll play it because I don't get that much
Not
time.
intentionally.
But I intend to play it right the way
I
through.
on the machine and thought, oh, this must be
And
how
I've
they
enjoyed
refill
it. Yeah, it makes a change. Nice
game.
game.
And next thing I know, there's
I'm looking forward to seeing better than this in future though. With it's not so dumbed down, you know. Everything's a bit easy, isn't it?
It's not funny. Right about then, a
But
bunch
the
of
acting,
loaders
the
came
voice
rolling
acting's
in the
good.
gate, fresh
I
off
like it
assault
anyway, and I
engines.
like the humour in it.
And Mr. Thompson was up on the
Especially with
porch
the
making a speech about how
corporate
everyone would
meat
have to
puppets that they've
volunteer
got
a
and
third
things like
shift
that. I
and get
just
it all
find it
canned.
very
Anyhow,
funny.
You ever
And
seen
that
an auto loader run over a bottle
that
of
woman,
zero G?
that sergeant or whatever she was, I thought she's had one of the funniest lines ever.
Exploded.
You can have it
all over
laminated.
Mr. Thompson. One bottle after
She's only on
another
about a
as the
parking
loaders went
ticket
by.
basically for
I
the
was just shy of
spaceship.
working
She's
age,
more
so
bothered
Dad
about
had to pay
that
all the
than
damages.
anything else.
Rose still angry at me.
It's the brainwashed
I can laugh about it
automatons,
now, but I
which
just
is where
kinda
we're
kicked up my
going.
guts and terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr.
Anyway,
Thompson
if you've watched this far, well done, because I don't think I'll watch this video. Well, I guess I'll have to, just to make sure it all works and that, but that'll be the only one and only time I do watch it, and that's that history again there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.